old souls, fellow empaths, seers, and psychonauts. If you'd like to come on in to have a seat for some symbolic support, and we'll see what messages may meet you. Hello, old souls, fellow empaths, seers, and psychonauts. My name is Steph. If you are new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome home. I appreciate your time, attention, and awareness. Truly am grateful, as your presence and perspective is powerful. Today we are going to be utilizing a scroll set, which is a Ouija Omened and Oracle scroll set, and it has already been dipped by our fellow seer at Witch and Scythe. I will tag you below because I love you and thank you. So we will be scrying through these, as well. We'll add on Tarot and Oracle, and where Mr. Ghosty here is, as you've heard, we have GhostTube kicking for any audio additions from the afterlife that may further add to our auric adventures. Overall, please do receive or release freely. When you're ready, let's go. All right. This is the first set, Ouija, Omen, and Oracle, that is done horizontally. And I'll put the link below as well if you'd like to commission a set being made. But when you're ready, let's take a nice deep breath. Closing the eyes, cleansing the palette of perception, releasing the race and the rush. Activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support. In the name and honor of fellow empaths, seers, and psychonauts. Thank you for being my muse, and may you meet a message with meaning. All right, so you'll see in these horizontal scrolls, there is, well, they are hauntedly created, holistically as well. They are all aged beautifully, like they've been with you for lifetimes. And they have either letters, numbers, about, in the spirit of. All right, well, let's get in here. Again, thank you, Witch, for letting us use your scrolls before they come home. There's a gathering down here of this happy conversation, and it is a mixture between folks in the density, folks in dimensional density, folks in interdimensional density. It is a gathering of sorts, residing in the same space, but in different frequencies. Some work more in sound, or they're more comfortable in sound. Like I can feel it kind of moving through my body. I'm like, oh, what is this? I'm like, some prefer more of a fluidity movement. Others move kind of like you would see maybe a bug or a spaceship. Not implying anything. They all move very, very differently. I have my hand behind my head, and I'm kind of leaning back and allowing this to happen because there's something coming together, but through a conversation. It's a relaxed conversation. This is the key. It's a relaxed conversation within oneself, perhaps even with other old souls here. It's relaxed. When it's kind of like in that age old, when you know, and you don't need to hold up a guard in certain kind of company, in certain kind of company. So you might be feeling a lot of spirit activity lately. No, it's not so much activity, it's presence. And that literally how I say at the beginning, that's fun, that's cute. That, you know, your perspective and your presence is powerful. There's presences here. Leaning back. There's also something about fish. I don't know what the... Okay, and a kettlebell. Also something about weights and measures. Hopefully you can hear this okay. Weights and measures. Maybe for my fellow Canadians, but I'm almost seeing the Canadian Tire symbol there. So if that means anything to anyone. Okay, I'm going to cruise on up, and then looks like we have a yellow or the solar plexus scroll here. Okay. So it's like I'm watching a honeybee feast on honey or bring honey to something. It's some sort of offering. This is also a solar powered body. And I can see the lung space in here. Big light body breath, solar body, whatever you want to call it. But there is something, there's also rhinoceroses pushing something out of the way at the bottom of my feet. What are those things? So the way I'm seeing it is if you purchase or have or been given, it doesn't really matter, something that like opens up, I don't know, like a rack or something like that. And on the bottom of the feet, they would have like these little rubber things so that it doesn't mark the floor. And there's a little bit more grip so it doesn't slide. Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely something about that in there. Okay, sorry, I'm getting distraction already. There's a spiral of creation.
I'm not sure.
I feel like that's very loud. What is that? A mercat? No, that can't be right, but maybe. A mercat, maybe. I'm not sure. But they are in spirals. I can see the spirals over there. I am carrying. My shadow mercat, I'm going to call this. Oh, there's also an iguana in there, if iguana means anything to you. Oh, this is changing fast. This is like shadow shape-shifting. This is not in a malicious way. This is form. This is freedom to morph and move with the different elements and energies, not to embody or take or anything like that, but to harness an appreciation and a gratitude. This shadow shape-shifting portion is carrying like a stuffy. You know how you would carry a stuffy or a security blanket or have a favorite toy? The shadow has that, and it's actually a piece of the light, the solar body, if I may, or the light body, whatever, the yin and the yang. Apply whatever feels good. This is very, very endearing. So very endearing. The 2 and the 4 are really standing out to me with 24, and I know it's in the reverse side. And if you're coming with me to the extended, the link will be below. Closer. However you'd like to join us, Vimeo or through the Secret or Society. But there's something about that 24. I don't know if it's 24 days, maybe even 24 hours. I'm hearing old souls. It's like make a wish or an intention with a sentiment behind it. That emotional flow, that emotional energy is the thing that starts to take shape into like the iguana or the mercat or any of these other things that I'm seeing. It's like it's changing shapes and moving through them until you give them the intention, and then they can start to harness it through the shadow space first. It's how I'm feeling. And gathering, more and more gathering. Lucid. Okay, here we go.
False.
I didn't say I was lucid. For the lucid cards. These golden rhinos, I feel like are gifts that are for you to stand upon their back. There's some sort of elevation happening, but it's in this weird form. I feel like I'm looking at a wood stove or something like that, but it's not hot to touch. It's a very interesting feeling. Questioning mind. Oh, this is in the psychonaut space. What I breathe life into, even with like the ashes of what was before, maybe you? That settle at the bottom of the lungs. It's almost like, if I may, like, but by appeasing my God. Questioning mind more, maybe in relation to God or connecting with your God, taking like really deep breaths, but then squenching out all the way, belly button to the spine, and wringing out the towel so there is no stale breath. There's no remnants of before. And this like brings it up. And it's almost, and some of you might be doing psychonaut stuff specifically, or you're doing some, sorry, my nose is so itchy in this reading. Okay? Even the ghost was like, are you okay? I'm okay. But even like through this, it feels like, I know the lighting, and if anything is standing out to you, please follow that. But it's like something is breaking apart, and the metamorphosis of that mind. It's almost like a mind stove of sorts. What's the right word? I want to say that. There's a lamb in there. Oh my goodness, sorry. I'm telling you, old souls, I feel like I am in this open mind. I'm not questioning everything in a challenging capacity. I'm questioning things like with a curiosity, spinning. This is the spinning in those spirals. There's like a blob in there. I think I'm just seeing it shift.
Nobody knows.
Shift in right now. Sorry, so can I just bring these down and put you up there? That'd be great, thanks. Oh, what do we have here as well? Mother of Dreaming. This is the relaxing and sitting back. Shoo, fly. Am I dreaming things into existence? When empathically, psychonautically, seer space, wherever you might whatever you might respond to or reside in for one reason or another in resonance. Okay, so this might be for the seeker also in general. The psychonaut, that is the empath. That is the seeker and the seer. Thank you. It's like I am dreaming this all into existence, and I understand that I'm going to use the term manipulating, but it's with
crime.
An understanding of maybe balancing other energies out. Maybe some that are crimeful in nature, but I'm sitting back and I'm watching this kettlebell drop into the ocean. And as it drops into the ocean, there's these other creatures that it's exciting to them. This thing that is of a solid structure, it's not in this shape-shifting, shadowy kind of thing. That is beautiful, by the way. This is not something yet that you've chosen to take form in or that you can sense. While yes, there is a negative polarity to this power, I'm very much in the space, the aura of the old souls, versus worrying about at this point what's happening externally. But like sitting back and watching something sink, like a fishing lure into the water. Is it weighted? I feel like it's weighted, but I'm seeing it as big as and heavy as a kettlebell. You might also be very connected to the stones right now. You might also be stone masons or something along that lines, or reading up or educated in somewhere of that area.
Scream.
Lifting off. This is the laying back and lifting off. I gotta relax to rise. I gotta relax to rise. All these presences are really curious. Okay. So I have reoccurring dreams. Don't worry that any are upside down. Dream body and then pointed focus. There's that presence. I think this presence might even be you in your original state of old soulness. But imagine you see it yourself in your own spirit form. Like your body and is the shadow in shape, in form. And the shadow comes, like in here, how the shadow holds a little piece of the light as like it's stuffy, it's comfort. It's always safe with that. And then here it's your light body, and then here is the shadow piece. The density of being human is here. There's a doorway in the elements of trees for some specifically, and then others the mineral realm more
You
specifically.
can't understand.
I'm not asking to understand. I'm simply sharing. All right, let's add on an oracle card, and then we'll wander over to the other side. Thank you if you have decided to comment below what you see, sense, or feel. If you decided to give it a like, or any interactions with the channel, it's appreciated. I really, really do appreciate it. All right, let's go.
Gemini.
Yes. Feeling Gemini vibes. Deliberation. Focus again. We had pointed focus over there, and then healing with something underneath it. Oops. I'm sorry. Somebody feels like, or you might feel like you're being graded, like A, B's, C, D's, or things in a hierarchy of numerology. 1, 2, 3, 4. If that's what you're doing, then that's what you believe. That's an expression maybe of what you believe in. So it's the metric that you're deciding to use. That's all I think all I have to say about that. And then I have here 20 and 26 with healing and magic. Oh, is this where all the people are going to? Is this where all... Do we gather like in an old Roman bath around like this fountain of youth cup, which this magic is like this elixir here. That's exactly what this feels like. But the presence of being focused and having to remain focused. You might also be astral traveling, or you've had out-of-body experiences that take you like through a tunnel. I feel like the landscape is really familiar. Like every time you land there, you know it. Even for psychonauts, if you're doing it in journey, in medicine, breath, and inducing, the closest thing I say is like DMT state, and you're inducing it with breath. It's a focus. It doesn't need to be long. Even like a few minutes or a few breaths of focus can open the door of density towards the presence of it. Relax and rise. Relax and rise.
Peace.
Yeah, there's a lot of peace here. Old souls. I am going to head over to the other... Well, let's add on a Mayan card first, and we'll use this as a bridge. And then we'll flip these scrolls as well. Chuen. This is our Mayan scroll here. I do have to get the book. I'm not gonna josh ya. I'm still reading. Reading it for the second time. But if any of the imagery is standing out, please follow that intuition. My throat is so funny in this read, but that's okay. Breathe. Innocence, spontaneity, inner child, humor, artistry, monkey,
Maybe.
trickster, disruption, and then transparency. Like those mercats almost look like with the monkey tails. I'm seeing sun, clouds, and just the crescents of the moon. 214. Let's get... Before I know I've said it like 10 times now. I apologize. Lies, lies, lies. For heavens and hot dogs.
We're here.
Hello. Chuen represents the divine child, the child that is ever in a state of open-hearted wisdom, innocence, trust, simplicity, and joyful wonder. What would it feel like to actually be a magical child in this culture and time? The secret that very few know, because they may feel more comfortable trying to protect themselves,
Shaman.
is that the divine child offers the strongest of all protections, the invulnerability of open-hearted love. Through innocence, a kind of immunity is created that allows the divine child to be transparent, so that the apparent slings and arrows of the world can pass right through without being personalized into wounds, reactions, or hurt feelings. This is the path of the innocence regained.
Back off.
Transparency is the path of new consciousness. Enter into the great wisdom of innocence and trust. You may be utilized as an empty vessel for divine will and wisdom to manifest. The less you hold rigidly to specific beliefs and thought patterns, the more you become an open receiving station for the divine. Thank you. Okay. Chuen, thank you. Because this was talking about the shadow trying to take shape and form, feeling so free to do that with not even a judgment of, is the shadow bad? Is the shadow... It's just like this void of creation. But it has its stuffy, the innocence of having that. It's so endearing. And then same with the body of the spirit. The human shape is so endearing. And maybe this is what's happening amongst this gathering, almost like, the dream temples as well. It's like redreaming ourselves into the state of innocence, transparency, where we know, like those rubber things on the bottom of, whatever I used, I can't remember. You're good. There's enough, like sticky mat, there's enough traction to play here and relax.
Members.
Relax to rise, play in the playground or whatever the case is. This comes into the questioning mind. What do I dream of? I dream of I'm going to say it, my spirit dreamt of being human. This is really beautiful if we are all playing here in this space. And look at all the different, I can't even say levels, though I can hear like a grading system. It's not what I think it is. But it's understood as a metric for the mind, but it's not of the heart. I'm going to move on over to the extended. I will see you there if you're joining us. If not, old souls, I will see you
Follow
next week. Follow me. So much love. Bye. Let's go, let's go, let's go.